this divine, remember, this divine māyā of mine, consisting of the modes, is hard to overcome, but those who take refuge in me alone cross beyond it. This is a very important verse. Shri Krishna tells us to be warned that we cannot call māyā, illusion, a bad thing. Māyā illusion is not bad. Why is this? What can you tell from this verse that tells you that māyā is not bad? What word is used before māyā? Divine. This is because the very first word that Shri Krishna uses in this verse in front of māyā is Devi, divine. Māyā, illusion, is divine. Shri Krishna has described māyā illusion very beautifully in this verse as follows. It is divine, it is his, it is mine, it consists of the three modes of nature, namely sattva, goodness, rajas, passion, and dharma, dullness, and that it is hard to overcome. So, is there no way to get out of it? And do you have to keep drowning in this māyā illusion that God has created? What if we wish to come out of it? What is the solution that Shri Krishna gives in this verse?
Take refuge in him.
Exactly. Shri Krishna says in this verse that those who take refuge in him alone cross beyond it. It says the word alone. There is no other way to cross beyond māyā illusion than to take refuge in God. Therefore, don't sit and complain about māyā illusion. Do not sit and criticize māyā illusion. Do not sit and think that we are helpless regarding māyā illusion. Instead, go and reach the boss of māyā illusion. Shri Krishna rightfully says that this māyā illusion is his. When one goes to God, then one will see what is the importance of māyā illusion, why māyā illusion is there, how māyā was created, and also the purpose of māyā. If a son does not sit with his father and just uses his father's money, then during that time the son will not realize the importance of money. The father tells the son to come on vacation with him for a month and to stay for the father for the whole day. Only then will the son know how much hard work the father has to do in the factory, how many people the father has to speak with, and how the money comes into the father's hands. Then the son will understand the importance of money, and the son will not use money for wrong purposes. The son will use the money for good purposes. Likewise, God tells us to come to him. When one sits with God, then one will see what māyā is. The same māyā that was taking one away from God will also bring one towards God. This is because māyā belongs to God. It's God's. To a common person, māyā looks like something that creates bondages. Guru often says that when a person turns 80 or 85 of age, then they say, "Oh God, just take me and free me from this māyā." They are just waiting for death. People look at them and think, how religious are they? They're just asking for God to take them away. How can people who wish to die be regarded as religious? They say that they do not want this māyā anymore, but they're drowning in it for 80 to 85 years, so how could they not want it now? It is because they have no energy inside them that they do not want māyā anymore. This will not work. This is what these people call the material world. But what is the wish of those people who are truly dharmic? Srimad Adi Shankaracharya does not talk about dying. It is a different thing that his life ended at the age of only 32, but he did not talk about dying. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya said, "Asvatam sayache janani janmayatam mamavai rudrani shiva shiva bhavani Tijapapa rutviyam putiste janani bhavashanti sarala parante shodam madhye viratara loham tavassuta madhuyam tyaga samuchitva mindose shive puputro jayate prachadabaki kumatatarna bhavati." Meaning, mother, give me rebirth. He's talking to Jagatamba. Mother, give me rebirth, even though liberation is waiting at the door. Why? So that I can chant your name and remember you. Because mother, there are a lot of your descendants in the world, and all of them are straightforward, and out of them I am naughty, but I am different and special because I am yours, mother. Oh mother, it is not right that you have left me because I am your child. I may have forgotten you, but because I am a little naughty, but how can you leave me, mother? This is not right for you, mother. the bhakti, the devotion of Srimad Adi Shankaracharya is at the highest level of all three of Gnan, wisdom, bhakti, devotion and karma. There is so much beauty and sweetness in this. What level must he be to be able to tell God that this is not right for you? When a child is naughty, then the mother does not leave the child and go away. The neighbor may leave the child, but the mother does not. If the mother leaves the child, then this is the mother's fault because he is just a child. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya tells God, Jagatamba, Mother, I am a child, so why did you leave me? This is the highest level of bhakti devotion. You see the highest level of Gnan together with the highest level of bhakti devotion only in Srimad Adi Shankaracharya. True devotees do not ask to die, they want to live. The saints of Maharashtra say, Tuka me garbha vasi suke gala vedasmi, give us another birth and another body. They want another birth. Mercy Mehta, the Gujarati poet saint, said, Harina janato mukti na mage, mage janma janma avtare, nita seva, nita kirtan, ocho nirakva nandakumare. The Lord's devotees do not ask for liberation, but for birth after birth. Why? So they can do more service, more singing about the Lord's qualities, and find more meaning in their devotion towards the Lord. The Lord's devotees do not ask for liberation, and yet we say that only a person asking for liberation is God's. Narsi Mehta says the opposite of this, that the Lord's devotees do not ask for liberation, but for birth after birth. Why does Narsi Mehta want to be born? Does he want to check every morning on All India Radio whether his devotional songs are being played? Does Narsi Mehta want to be reborn so that he can check whether he's getting royalties for his devotional writings, being in children's books? No. Then why does he ask for birth after birth? So that he can do more service, more singing about the Lord's qualities, and practice more further devotion. If devotees become one with God, then whose service can they do? This is because if they become one with God, then they become God. If they become God, then whose bhakti devotion will they do? The bliss they have in bhakti devotion is not there in being God. They just want to perform bhakti devotion of God, and they want to see God. And one should have this. Do not think about death. This is one kind of splendor. Okay, going back to this verse, Maya, verse 14, Maya illusion is divine. The Maya of Srimad Adi Shankaracharya, Tukaram or Narsi Mehta cannot be called wrong Maya, it is divine Maya. It is Maya where one wishes to make beautiful the world in which God has sent him. What is this divine Maya? Srila Swami writes in his book that this Maya is, we're looking at the definition of Maya, alokiki ati abhupteti. It is splendid and overwhelming. It is divine and supernatural. Nilkant Swami wrote that Maya is belonging to the Supreme Lord. Devyasya jiva rupena lilaya kritito masambani ita yam devi. When the Supreme Soul takes a human form and comes to play in this world, then that which gives us a relation with that form is this divine Maya illusion. When God becomes like us and comes amongst us, then that which gives us a relation with that form of God is this divine Maya. Maya is divine. Shri Krishna also says in this verse that Maya consists of the three modes of nature. If we try to look at it metaphysically, then Maya is the form of works that we perform, and these works arise as a result of nature. These three modes of nature create bondages for individual souls. Nature itself does not bind. However, it is only as a result of three modes of nature that one gets the energy to perform works. We saw earlier in this verse that if it were not for the three modes of nature, namely sattva, goodness, raja, passion, and tamas, dullness, then there would be no works. This energy to perform works comes from Maya. This energy to perform works is divine. When can these works become divine? This happens when we work efficiently is ours. The work that we do is done efficiently and is used in performing God's works. Maya is very good, and God says that it is His in this verse. Great saints give us a very good example. Let's say that you've gone to meet the owner of a big business at 7 p.m. in his mansion. not 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, any other day. You reach there on time at 7 p.m. There is a garden around the mansion and there's a gate on which it says, beware of the dogs. As soon as you ring the bell, then the big Alsatian comes running towards you while barking. As soon as the other dogs start barking, then you think that you don't want to go inside this house. This is because when you see the dog coming, then you do not see the dog, but the 14 injections coming running towards us. You think for a second whether you should go inside the house or not. This dog is barking. But the owner of the big business comes to the balcony on the first floor of the mansion and holds on to the railing. He looks at us and he recognizes us. Then he shouts, "Tony, come back!" And Ramlal opened the door. Tony stops and then stops barking while wailing and wagging its tail. Then Ramlal comes with a key and opens the gate. You go inside and the dog comes along behind you smelling you, and when you sit in the drawing room, then the dog that had come barking like it was death itself now starts licking your leg and wagging its tail. Why did this happen? Because this Tommy now found out that this is not someone new and not a stranger, and that his boss knows this person and that this person has come to meet his boss. Then the dog starts licking your leg. In the same way, when we wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and go and sit in front of the owner of the world to do puja and to make our mind one-pointed, then just before that, the māyā of illusion of the world comes and barks at us. You're sitting down at 6 a.m. to make your mind one-pointed, but you get lots of thoughts about the world. These thoughts do not come for the rest of the day, but during that time, you get more and more of thoughts of māyā. How can you make this go far away? There is only one solution. Increase your identification and your relationship with God. Such a fortunate moment will come when God will tell māyā, "Māyā, come back." And when God says, "Māyā, come back," then he will also tell Shankaracharya or Vallabhacharya, Ramanujacharya or any other great saint to go and open the gate. This māyā will become calm and a great saint will open the gate with a key, and you go straight and sit with God in a hall. When you sit in a hall, then this māyā that came barking towards us will now start licking your leg and will sit down in front of you. No matter what, māyā is from a big house and it is divine. When God says that this māyā is his, then how much trained must māyā be? It is not a dog that just walks around on the street. It is a trained dog. Just increase your identification and your relationship with God. You have to make efforts to increase this identification and relationship. This is because such people cannot be met so easily and immediately in one day. You have to make efforts, go and give your card at the office and sit down for 1.5 hours, and then the secretary says that the boss is gone. This happens, but you need patience for this. In the same way, when you go and sit in front of God, then God will not come in front of you immediately and straight away. Shri Krishna will say later in the Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Vante Gnanamam Mam Prabhakya. One has to wait, but once an introduction has taken place, then it's not a problem. Once that introduction has taken place, and māyā has found out that you know the owner and you are God's, then māyā will not bother you throughout your life. You just need to make this introduction with God once. Shri Krishna says in this verse that those who come to his refuge alone cross beyond māyā. Until now, one has not gone to God's feet. While one has not gone to God's feet, then one cannot cross beyond māyā. Notice the word alone. Alone. While we do not go to God's feet, then one cannot cross beyond māyā. If I were to say it in the second meaning and the logical meaning, then if māyā is affecting a person, then they should not complain, but they should just consider that this is a weakness, that they have not yet gone to the refuge of God, and that they have not yet been introduced to God. This is why māyā is affecting them. One must know that they have not yet created this relationship with God, and that one is dancing in illusion, thinking that he has reached because he has done so much, yet he has not reached. This is because if he had reached and if he had created this relation, then māyā would not affect him. Hari se lage raho bhai, banak banak ban jaye. Banta banta kya baat, banji hai bati nahi chalta, lekin lage rahe na jaye. Remain close to Hari, my friend, because then you will reach. As as you are reaching, you do not even know, but you should remain close. We will therefore remain close to God as we continue to read the Gita, and you will reach. You will certainly reach. When we understand that this māyā is God's, then the contempt that we have for māyā reduces in one's mind. This is because it is a simple and straightforward principle of psychology that when we have a contempt for something, then we do not separate from it. We in fact connect more with it. This results in negative involvement with whatever you have contempt for. If there is a person who you do not like and you have contempt for that person, then you do not remember your friends a lot, but you remember your enemies a lot. This is because the person or the thing you have contempt for comes very often in your memories. If one were writing a list of who to send invitations to for their son's wedding, then one always remembers the people that one does not wish to invite. We think that we have taken care of such people out of their minds, but they do not come out of our minds. If we have contempt for the world, then it is not as if the world will go away. If we have contempt for māyā, then it is not as if māyā will go away. Rather, your negative involvement with māyā will increase. What is māyā? Only when you know something will you become free from it. This is a principle. Therefore, we will look at this māyā, the topic of this class, in detail. First of all, the scriptures say that māyā is not something bad, like we say, but that the root of māyā is four things. Kala, which means art, kaushalya, prowess, karigari, workmanship, and hunar, skill. Māyā is kala, art, kaushalya, prowess, karigari, workmanship, and hunar, skill. All these words are the root meanings of the word māyā. For example, a potter uses his workmanship to make pots out of clay. These pots are the potter's māyā because the potter made these pots out of clay. This is the root meaning of māyā in Sanskrit. Before, when this pot was just clay, then us ordinary people who do not know how to make pots out of clay will just see clay and will not see the pots in this. But the potter did see the pots in the clay, in this clay. The potter sees the clay and realizes that you can make a pot out of this. He can tell which clay is nicer to make pots and which clay is not the right clay to make pots. He knows the different types of clay. Only one who has the māyā, artistry, workmanship will know this. We will not know this. We do not have the imagination to make this clay into pots. Now that this potter has this māyā and has made pots out of this clay, then the pots have become a form of māyā. We make use of our energy, that the form of māyā, and after using or enjoy it, we become so involved in the pot that we forget that this pot is made out of clay. Then we can only see the pot and not the clay. We become involved in this, and therefore we forget the root form of it. Then the association we have and attachment that we have is with the pot and not with the clay. We conveniently forget that these pots have been made from clay. Not only that, while we have the pot, and while the pot does work for us in making water colder and looking after water, then during that time we get happiness. Then if tomorrow we wake up and this pot breaks, then we get sad that our pot is broken. We get sad because our water will not get colder and we will not be able to fill it up with water anywhere. When the pot breaks, then we feel it. In reality, what happens to the pot is that the pot was made out of clay, and now the pieces of the broken pot will rub together and become clay. The pot will go back to the thing from which it was made, but we forgot its beginning, we forgot its end, and we just held on to the middle. This is māyā. Māyā is the reason for which the pot was made out of clay. Now let us generalize this example of the pots. The pots came from the clay and ended up as clay, but they became the reason for our happiness and sadness. In the same way, we make so many things in the world. For example, we make a house out of clay. When that house falls down, then it will go back to becoming clay, whatever it's made out of. But at that time, we forgot that we had made the house from clay in the first place. If we then increase our perspective even more, then whenever anything comes to us and whenever something goes, then we will have that thing, we will experience pleasure from that thing when it comes, and when it goes away, then we forget that that thing came to us one day and that is why it went. This is what māyā is. The root meaning of the word māyā is art, kala, art, kaushilya, prowess, karigari, workmanship, and hunar, skill. The whole world is the Supreme Soul's kala, art, kaushilya, prowess, karigari, workmanship, and hunar, skill. In the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavat, there is a Chatushloki Bhagavat. Who's heard of this? Chatushloki Bhagavat. Sri Hari, the Supreme Soul, is giving a discourse to Brahmaji, and in the first verse of the Chatushloki Bhagavat, it says, Aham eve samavagre nanya yadasa satparam pashyataham yate tasya yovati shayasosmayam. At the beginning of the world, only I alone was there, then this world came. I am here in this world now, and when this world is dissolved, then only I will remain. At the beginning of this world, only I was there, and then when the world came, I am here in the world now, and when this world is dissolved, then also only I will remain. The potter was there before the pot was made, the potter is there when the pot is made, but we have a limitation in this example, because in that the potter could die after making the pot, but the pot will remain. But if the potter up there who has created all these pots never dies, and his kala, art, his kaushalya, prowess, karigari, workmanship, and hunar, skill remains just the way it was. This is what māyā is. In the Rig Veda, there is a very nice definition of māyā. Indra mayati puru rupa kiyate. Indra creates many different forms and shapes with this māyā, and therefore māyā is Indra's magic. Indra in this verse means the Supreme Soul in this form of Indra, because the rishis have written these hymns for each of the gods, the devs, as if each dev, the gods, is a Supreme Soul. That is why Indra is here. A lot of misunderstandings arise when you try to understand māyā. If we wish to understand māyā in its metaphysical meaning, then in existence, if there was only Sat, what does Sat mean? Yeah, good, the truth, eternal and the right, and Asat, which is the opposite, the temporary and the wrong, then your and my life will be very straightforward. Life would be very easy to understand because there would only be Sat, the eternal and right, and Asat, temporary and wrong. If there was the case, then there would be no need for scriptures, no need for worship or penances, no need for bhakti, devotion or anything else. But this is not the case, because there is a third thing, and this is that Sat, which is eternal and right, looks like Asat, temporary and wrong, and Asat, temporary and wrong, looks like Sat, eternal and right. This illusion is māyā. If you try to look at this existence in reality, then there are only two things, Sat, eternal and right, and Asat, temporary and wrong. But a third force and a third dimension also arises, and this is our perspective that we can call māyā. There is a very famous example from the Vedanta of Raja Sarpanai. There's a rope lying on a dark road, and it looks like a snake to us. We run with our fists clenched. What can we call this? This is māyā. Is this Sat, eternal and right? In one meaning, the rope is not a snake, because if you try to search and make efforts to try and find out the truth, then you see that it is a rope and there is no snake there at all. But in another meaning, it is a snake because it looks like a snake, and you see this. That is why the person runs with his fist clenched. It appears like a snake. It is a snake, and it is also not a snake. Even though it is not a snake, it looks as if it is a snake. This is māyā. This is the meaning of the word māyā, which is split into ma and ya. Māyā, māyā. The Sanskrit language is very beautiful. Ma means not there, and ya means that in the feminine gender. That, māyā, is when the thing is not there, yet it appears that the thing is there. This is māyā. A snake can be seen in a rope even though the snake in reality is not there. And while the snake can be seen, and while the snake appears, it appears so real that it begins to cut the body, sweat begins running, and a person begins running away with his fists clenched. That which is not real has so much power that it can make that which is real appear not to be there. Falsity has so much power that it can make the truth appear not to be there. This is māyā. Māyā is such a non-real thing that makes things that are real appear not to be there. This is because we are real and our understanding is real, but that which is not real, such as a snake one saw on the rope, hides that which is real, and that is māyā. If you go to a cinema to watch a film and there is a blank screen in front of you, as soon as the projection, there's a blank screen in front of you, but as soon as the projections start from the projector, the film begins. The actor from the film is going from the city to the village and tells everyone that he's become an engineer and he's been given work to build a pool in this village. Then the actor falls in love with a woman living in this village. They sing 2 or 3 songs saying that they're happy and we praise the love that's going on between those two. Then the brother of the man's mother finds out that this man is in love with this woman and he wishes for his daughter to get married to this man so this man's wealth can become his. Then villains start playing their games. They call the man and say bad things about this woman. The man therefore leaves this woman and this poor and innocent woman is crying. When we see the audience see this actress crying, when we see, for example, a woman next to us crying, she cannot stop crying. You have to pull out a handkerchief and give it to her. The husband of this woman is asking her why she's crying. The woman says, this poor woman is getting so many sorrows, just look. The man says she's just crying through glycerin. However, the glycerin in the actress's eyes brings tears to this woman in the audience. This non-real thing appears so real that it brings real tears. Therefore, do tears of glycerin have so much strength that they can bring real tears to other people's eyes? This is māyā. It is not there and yet it appears to be there. And you know what a big illusion in this life is. There is a piece in the cinema because there is only one projector room and there is only one film being shown on the screen. This great vast screen that we call the world has ever so many projections as there are people. And every person is projecting their film onto the screen of the world. What can we see in this world? Every person keeps giving his projection and saying that this world is of this type and this world is of that type. That is why in every family, in every society, and in the whole world, every person's projector is different. These confusions that arise because of māyā are these. Just think about it. If you're sitting inside the cinema and there are 5 cameras to the projector, what would you understand in this film? You would not understand anything in this film. In one film there is a song going on where the actress and the actress in another film, there's a fight going on. There is a song and fighting going on at the same time, and therefore you do not understand anything. This is what happens in this world. That is why after songs, fighting takes place, and after the fighting takes place, then there's songs all over again. This is what is happening in every relation. This is māyā. It is not there, and yet it looks as if it is there. Secondly, the majority of our lives are spent close not to Sat, which is eternal or right, or Asat, temporary and wrong, but they are spent hovering close around māyā. We are not clear about what Sat, eternal and right is, and we're also not clear about what Asat, temporary and wrong is, and live hovering close to māyā, illusion. How can we recognize this māyā? In the 2nd chapter of the Gita, when he is speaking about the Samkhya scriptures, Shri Krishna said this about Sat, the eternal and right. Is nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate sataha upyaho rapitashto nashtat tvana yustat vatashibi. Of the non-existent there is no coming to be, of the existent there is no ceasing to be. The conclusion about these two has been perceived by the seers of truth. Therefore, that which is Sat, eternal, can never be Asat, temporary, and that which is Sat, Sat can never be destroyed. That which is Sat can never come to be. What is Sat? Sat is all that which is there for eternity. The pure existence is Sat. If something is there for eternity, that means that it has no beginning and that it can never have an end. The Supreme Soul is always Sat. There was no time when the Supreme Soul was not. The Supreme Soul is here now, and there will be no time in the future when the Supreme Soul will not be there. Therefore, that which is Sat never has a beginning and never has an end. If that which is Sat is not there, then how can we talk about its beginning or its end? Asat means that it is not there. Therefore, something which is not there cannot have a beginning and cannot have an end. Therefore, the question is without foundation, and this is the difference between Sat and Asat. Sat is there, and therefore doesn't have a beginning or an end. Asat is not there, and therefore it also does not have a beginning or an end. If a person has not been born and does not exist, then how can he have a birthday? No, he cannot have a birthday. Can he have a date when he passed away? No, he cannot, because this is Asat. Therefore, that which is Asat does not have a beginning or end, and that which is Sat also does not have a beginning or an end. But the difference between the two is that because Sat is there, it does not have a beginning or an end, and because Asat is not there, it does not have a beginning or an end. Māyā is the third thing between Sat and Asat. It looks as if Māyā is there, but one cannot tell when its beginning was. We do not know its beginning, but we do know its end. This is Māyā. Just like darkness, we do not know its beginning. When does darkness begin? Can you tell when darkness began? You cannot say. This is because light slowly and slowly keeps reducing and darkness begins. Therefore, one cannot tell when darkness began, but one can tell when darkness ends. All you have to do is light a lamp and darkness ends. You can tell straight away when darkness ends. In the same way, one cannot tell when the beginning of Māyā was, but one can tell when the end of Māyā will be. When wisdom lights up, then Māyā ends. Because one cannot tell when Māyā began, its discussion is without foundation. All the confusions in this world are as a result of searching for the beginning of Māyā. There is no confusion in finding the end of Māyā. The majority of people have this conflict in their lives and instability and insecurity in their minds because in order to make the problem go away, they are not looking for the solution to the problem, but they're looking at how the problem happened. If a difficulty comes, then people ask why the difficulty came. The difficulty has come, so why do people now look for how to get out of this difficulty? People still ask why the difficulty came. A person has a necklace and the necklace gets stolen. The person has misplaced it and therefore he cannot find it. When fireworks go off in houses, then their conversations are worth listening to because you get a lot of knowledge from them. 75% of the things that people will say are about the past. They say you do not even look after it. I've told you 17 times to do this, but it has already happened. Now this necklace is not there in the present because you cannot find it. The person still says, I told him before he left that he should properly test the person before keeping him. He has not kept a photo of this person. This person has gone for 4 hours and he has not come back. Who knows where he could have gone? I thought that this person was going to come back in 10 minutes. So much futile talk. People keep looking for the reason for which the problem arose. Of course, you can study why a problem arose, and one cannot deny this. One has to learn from experiences, but first you should try to solve the problem, and only then should you try to find out why the problem arose. The more we search for why the problem happened when the problem is going on, then the further we will go from the solution to the problem. This is like standing in a house that's burning down while trying to figure out why the house is burning. The fire can happen as a result of many different reasons, but just get out while there is a fire. Go out fast and sit around talking about why the fire went off. First, get out of the problem. First, get out of Māyā. If we keep talking about why Māyā is there while living in Māyā, then this will lead to confusion and loss. After getting out of Māyā, one will feel that there's no point in even talking about Māyā. When the light comes, then what's the use of us talking about darkness? Buddha always gave a message in his life that if one has been hit by an arrow in the chest and blood is coming out from the chest, then during that time, it's better that the person first tries to take the arrow out rather than talking about who could have fired the arrow at him or her, or how the arrow hit him. A person has come to take away the pain from his chest, and yet this person is saying to take out the arrow later and first tell him who fired the arrow at him and why the arrow was fired at him. This is a state of human beings, and our stories are as a result of this state. Māyā is nothing else apart from the person forgetting about trying to get out and discussing why he is there. The nature of Māyā is like a dream. One can draw so many similarities between Māyā and dreams. Firstly, one cannot tell when dreams began, and similarly, one cannot tell when Māyā, ignorance, or bondages to karmas began. The beginnings of both cannot be confirmed. Second, one cannot tell when dreams began, but one can tell when they are broken. One understands the ending of dreams. Similarly, one can tell when Māyā breaks. If you want to give an original definition of Māyā, then it is a dream with open eyes. This is Māyā. This is because Māyā has all the characteristics of a dream. Thirdly, when dreams are running, then they appear real, and when Māyā is running, then it appears real. When dreams are taking place, then one cannot tell that they are dreams. Similarly, when we are in Māyā, then we cannot tell that this is Māyā. It is only when dreams break that we can tell the foolishness that was going on. When the light of knowledge comes and Māyā breaks, then one realizes what this was. Fourth, in dreams there are no doubt factors. Think about it. Freud, Carl Jung, and other psychologists have written a lot about dreams, and their research is worth reading. We read ancient scriptures on dreams, but the dream analysis that modern psychologists have done is very interesting. They say that there are no doubt factors in dreams. That is why dreams are so absurd and so odd, and we believe these absurdities and oddities to be true. We often laugh thinking, what kind of dream did I have today? I do not even know where all these things came together inside the dream. Such strange combinations happen in dreams that we do not even realize where they got together from. Yet, when these dreams are running, then we do not doubt it. It is only when dreams break that we think about where all these things came from. For example, how we met one person here and another person there, given that the two people do not even know each other, and how we ended up in a certain garden. There are no doubt factors in dreams. Similarly, in Māyā, no doubt factors arise for human beings. Wise people think, what have you fallen into? Get out of there. Great saints and wise people say to us over and over again to get out of this, but we say, no, I am enjoying myself in this. There are no doubt factors in Māyā. We regard whatever we see as real. Fifth, there is no logic in a dream. You see so many illogical things in dreams. Guruji was once giving a talk in Hindi in Chimbur in India. He met a husband and a wife, and the husband told him that his wife has a psychological illness where she has a lot of dreams, and when you look at her face, then you can see that something is there. She would always look lost. He asked them both what the problem was. He found out what they said, and what they told him was strange. He had read about it in books. The husband told him that his wife always lives in the dream. He asked the woman what kind of dreams she has. The woman told him that she has dreams where she always wants to live with horses and spend her whole life with horses. She told him some very strange things and told him that she only has dreams like this. She said, Guruji told her that there's no logic in her dreams. She felt in her dreams that a horse is her father, a horse is her mother, a horse is her husband, a horse is her son, and that everyone is a horse. She said that she would just get lost in this world. Guruji found this strange. The thought even came to his mind that there was an artist that he became famous for drawing horses, and he must also be living in this world of horses as well as women. Doesn't mean to derogate anybody, but it happens. There is no logic in dreams. Sixth, there are no references to context in dreams. When we open our eyes, then we see the logical defects and we realize that it does not match. But in dreams, there are no references to context. These defects are just there. Everything that is going on in dreams looks fine to us. Māyā is like this as well. There are no references to context in Māyā. There are no arguments and no doubts while a human being is drowned in Maya. One does not need any references to context in dreams. Dreams come straight away without any reference. There is also no need for references in context and no need for consistency in Maya. Inconsistencies are incorrect, but not in dreams. The reason why this is so is because one only needs consistency and reference to context when somebody else is there. In the majority of occasions in Maya, the other person is non-existent, and while the other person is there, then only one conceives the other person to be there or has a projection of the other person to be there. Earlier in this chapter, we saw the example, last class from Mayank, we saw the example where Majnu told the king to see Layla with Majnu's eyes. The meaning of this is that Majnu is seeing Layla not how she really is, but how he is having his own projection. Therefore, he does not see 99% of Layla, and he can only see what's in his mind. The thoughts he has towards the person he loves, he is being projected onto Layla. Once this projection begins, then one cannot change the image on the screen. In a cinema, when the projector begins running, then you cannot change the image on the screen because the image is only run when the projector and the screen are one. You can only move the screen when the projector is turned off. But while the projector is on and the film is running, you cannot move the screen. The projector of ours never turns off. It remains on 24 hours a day. That is why it is difficult to get out of Maya. God says here that there is only one way to get out of Maya, and that is by going to God's refuge, by going to God's feet. This is because until now we've all been seeing this Maya and the material world. Now we should change our perspective and turn towards the boss of Maya. Only then will we go beyond Maya. When Guruji was young, all sorts of children's magazines used to come. Who's heard of Fulwari in India? Who's been to India and heard of Fulwari? Okay, no one, neither have I. When Guruji was young, all sorts of children's magazines used to come, such as Fulwari. Only those who were young at the time would know, because people now, as we proved, don't even know what Fulwari is. Guruji used to like it very much. In the Fulwari magazines, there are many different types of puzzles, for example, spotting the difference between two pictures. This comes in some newspapers nowadays in English. For example, there'd be two pictures and you may have to find 6 differences between the two. But often in Fulwari, it was very nice, where they'd drawn a picture where if you looked at it, then you think that it's a man and that the man is laughing. But when you turn the picture around, then it looks like a man's face and that this man is crying. The picture is the same. If you look at it one way around, then it seems as if the man is laughing, and if you turn it the other way around, then it looks as if the man is crying. Guruji once had an argument with his older sister because they both enjoyed reading this. The newspaper came and Guruji was looking at one way around and his older sister was sitting opposite him. He told his older sister that this man is laughing in the picture, and the older sister would say that the man is not laughing and the man is crying. Guruji told her it can be clearly seen that the man is laughing, and the sister would say that the man is crying. Their mother had to come in and between them to stop the argument, and she would tell us to stop this fighting. Then what happened was that she turned the newspaper around, and Guruji therefore began saying that this man is crying, and his older sister would say that this man is laughing. The argument stayed the same. When did this argument get solved? This argument can only be solved by going to someone who knows. The world is like this. It depends on the perspective with which we see the world. This is because on the one hand, we have Srimad Adi Shankaracharya's perspective in the Vivek Chudamani, which says, Brahma Satyam Jagatan Mithya Jiva Brahmeva Napara. Brahman is the only truth, the world is a myth. There is ultimately no difference between the Brahman and the individual soul. This is what Lord Shankaracharya says, and we see this and think that we do not understand anything in this. Why does the world not seem a myth to us? We do not think and feel that there is a difference between Brahman and individual soul. We just think that the whole world is truth and Brahman is a myth. This is what our experience tells us. This is because we see the world and the world comes within the grasp of our senses. Brahman is not within the grasp of our senses, and therefore Brahman seems like a myth. Maya is when Brahman seems like a myth. Turn the picture around. You're sitting on the side of the material world with Shankaracharya is sitting on the other side, and that is why you see this. Just stand next to Srimad Adi Shankaracharya Ji and look at the world. Look at the perspective with which Shankaracharya Ji saw the world. Then you will feel that Brahman is only truth and this world is a myth. Maya is a perspective, and it can only be changed, and one can only be free from Maya through one way, by going to the refuge of God and by constantly thinking of God. That is what Shri Krishna says in this verse. Those who take refuge in me alone cross beyond it. It is very simple and straightforward. If a king has given someone the punishment of imprisonment, then the prisoner can only come out of prison when the king gives the order for this to happen. This is because only the person who is given the punishment can make one free from the punishment. The authority to tie someone up in bondages and to make free that person lies only with one. In the same way, God says that he gave birth to Maya and that he created this whole game, and therefore only when we go to his refuge and only when we make him happy can we come out of this Maya. In the Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas says this very same thing in the Sundarkant. We spoke about Hanumanji last week at Diwali show. Sundarkant is very much based on Hanumanji. It says, Sanmukh hoye jive jabe mohi janma koti agan sahita bihi. When the individual soul goes in front of God, then at that time the sins of millions of birth of his go away. Shri Krishna therefore says that one who takes refuge in him alone crosses beyond Maya. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya Ji interprets this in his commentary and explains what one must do to cross over Maya. He says, Sansara bandhanat muchyate. One must become free from the bondages of the material world. We must understand one more difference. We do not know when the beginning of Maya was, but the end of Maya does come, whereas mukti, liberation, is such that we know its beginning because we would know when we become liberated, and its end never comes. In reality, when one experiences liberation, then he feels as if he has always been liberated, and it was his mistake in believing that he was under bondages. But he finds out that this mistake is over, and this mistake is broken, and once he finds this out, then the end of this never comes. We may then ask God, who becomes free from this Maya? Because God said that those who come to his refuge become free from Maya. Then why does everyone in this world not become free from Maya? Shri Krishna gives the answer to these questions in the next verse, verse 15.